The story begins with a young orphan named Lin. He had tragically lost his mother in a car accident and his father due to a gambling debt. On his 18th birthday, an unexpected event changed his life forever. An old man broke into Lin's apartment and whisked him away to the mystical spirit world. There, the old man granted him the extraordinary war god system. Lin soon learned that he possessed rare spiritual eyes, which allowed him to practice cultivation in the prestigious magic academy of the spirit world. What's more, only he could see the system, giving him an edge like a cheat skill. Excited by the opportunity, Lin eagerly embraced his new destiny. The elderly man, after explaining everything, disappeared, leaving Lin with a recommendation. Curious about his surroundings, Lin discovered a teleportation portal right in front of him. In a moment of curiosity, he touched the portal and absorbed its energy. To his surprise, a beautiful girl named Zion suddenly emerged from the portal, landing on top of Lin. She introduced herself as a member of the Vermilion Bird sect and expressed gratitude for his unintentional act of saving her. Together, they ventured into the academy, where they encountered a gathering of students preparing for an aptitude test that would determine their cultivation levels. During his turn, Lin handed his recommendation letter, signed by the legendary Immortal Master Lu, to the instructor Miss Ewing. As the numerology instructor, Ming Yun, examined Lin's letter, he prophesied that Lin would bring miracles to the spiritual world, filling him with hope despite his lack of cultivation experience. However, when Lin touched the mirror known as the lustrous divine monolith, the truth was revealed. The instructor unveiled that Lin had become a living legend, possessing no cultivation level at all. Shocked and disappointed, Lin returned to his place amidst the hatred and criticism from his fellow students. Lin faced the disdain of his peers, who berated him for becoming a Class 1 student with a lower cultivation level than theirs. One student even challenged him to a fight, but Zion intervened, preventing any further conflicts. In his dormitory room, Lin turned to the war god system and embarked on completing various quests, beginning with a set number of push-ups. As Lin diligently worked through the quests, he steadily leveled up and reached the 3rd stage of cultivation. However, his enthusiasm waned when the system revealed the next quest required him to complete 10 billion push-ups, seeming impossible. Determined to find a solution, Lin sought advice from Zion, but an unexpected ambush disrupted their meeting. An imposter attacked Lin, only to be outmaneuvered and defeated. Recognizing the imposter as Lu Davao, the same person who had spoken against Lin joining Class 1, Lin and Zion prepared to face the real Davao, who had challenged Lin outside the dormitory building. Before they could engage, the imposter made another desperate attack, which Lin intercepted, protecting Zion. Although the imposter managed to escape, the incident left Lin feeling the animosity of his peers. Driven by their contempt, Lin resolved to prove them wrong by working hard in class. However, he soon discovered the absurd teaching methods employed by the instructors, including Miss Ewing's focus on a mobile game and instructor Ming Yun's strategy of inducing sleep for dream analysis. Undeterred, Lin persevered. During a lecture, he found himself paired against the class monitor, Xuan Yu and Chen Xiaolan, in a spar. Despite Cheng's skepticism about their unequal cultivation levels, Lin demonstrated his resilience by skillfully blocking Cheng's fireball attacks and using a spirit formation to subdue her. And so, Lin's journey in the spirit world continued, filled with challenges, dreams of miracles, and the determination to prove himself to those who doubted his abilities. In the midst of the intense battle, Lin notices that Zion is at a disadvantage. Acting quickly, he unleashes a mysterious power that elevates his cultivation level by 1 realm. Lin throws a punch, but his opponent manages to dodge and restrains him with spiritual chains, attempting to overpower him with formation pressure. However, Cheng's attack fails as Lin intentionally missed his previous punch to target the weak spot of the formation. This unexpected turn of events results in Lin advancing to the 4th stage of cultivation. Seizing the opportunity, Lin immediately requests 130 spiritual stones to complete his next quest in the system, aiming to reach the 5th stage. To his surprise, Chen generously provides him with 5,000 spirit stones, the currency of the spiritual world. The following day, Lin receives a notification from the system about an upcoming event called the Battle for Freedom. It is a survival competition, considered a special quest that he cannot decline. To complete it, Lin must secure a position in the top 50 participants. Otherwise, he will be transformed into a girl for an entire year. Determined to improve his chances, Lin focuses on enhancing his cultivation by absorbing spiritual stones, advancing to the 7th stage. However, he is aware that he still remains weak to secure a top 50 position. Desperate for ways to strengthen himself, Lin implores the system for additional quests and methods of improvement. The system reveals that Lin can increase his cultivation by defeating a cultivator of the 9th stage or higher. Realizing that Zion possesses the necessary strength, Lin attempts to persuade her to let him win in multiple fights. However, his requests take a different turn, such as asking for the essence of the mountain pill to cultivate the powerful skill known as Mountain Quacking Fist. He also seeks Zion's assistance in gathering information about his opponents in the competition. In a last attempt, Lin asks Cheng to engage in a fight, with the hope that Cheng will take it easy on him. Although Chang agrees to disclose his weakness, Lin finds himself without a reliable solution. Gathering his courage, Lin decides to ask Zion for a surprise attack but unwittingly gives the wrong impression, leading Zion to believe it is a confession of love. The next day, as Lin tries to execute a sneak attack on Zion using a spiritual formation, he accidentally touches her inappropriately, leading to her angry departure. In her anger, Zion throws at him the essence of mountain pills and a copy of the requested information. Upon his return, Lin consumes a pill meant to cleanse his body from impurities, unaware that it would result in him suffering from dire diarrhea for the next 13 days. In the restroom, Lin ponders how to solve his dilemma. With the competition only 10 days away and his need to use the restroom for the next 13 days, he must devise a plan to overcome this challenging situation. Lin ponders on how to solve his predicament. With the competition just 10 days away and his need to use the restroom for the next 13 days, it poses a challenge. The following day, Chen approaches Lin, concerned about his absence from class. However, Chen misunderstands the situation, believing Lin is grappling with an internal demon. Chang comes to the rescue by chanting the Heart Sutra, which accelerates Lin's cleansing process. Recognizing its effectiveness, Lin requests Chang to continue chanting the sutra for the next few days to expedite the process. After 10 days, Lin is compelled to join the competition, with only 3% remaining for his body cleanse. One of the eldest elders explains the straightforward rules of the competition. The higher the number of opponents defeated, the higher the rank achieved. Additionally, the elder casts a protective golden light spell on the students. However, the spell will be broken once a student sustains significant damage, teleporting them back to safety. Lin and Davao find themselves teleported to the same location, which terrifies Davao, knowing he cannot handle Lin, who has just reached the 7th cultivation stage. Lin approaches Davao and breaks his sword, only to ask the frightened Davao if he has any toilet paper. Davao simply responds with a no. Lin then proceeds to complete his body cleansing process, hiding in bushes. However, he is discovered by a group when he is at his last 1%. Lin buys himself time by persuading the group members to fight amongst themselves. Finally, he finishes his significant task, completing the quest, reaching the 8th stage, and acquiring a new skill called Mountain Quacking Fist. Eager to test his new skill, Lin employs it against the 4 guys who confronted him, effortlessly sending them out of the competition. Later, he encounters Davao, who takes him to his hideout. There, Lin comes across a group of nearly 300 students who request to be gently eliminated from the competition to avoid serious injuries. This unexpected encounter allows Lin to jump up the rankings by a staggering 40,000 spots. Soon after, Lin is ambushed by a cultivator, but a courageous girl comes to his rescue. Lin, recognizing the girl as Lu Qianthuan, the renowned #1 god of killing, gets challenged to a game by her. In this game, Qianthuan will ask Lin 100 questions about the mortal world. If he answers correctly, he will become a member of her Lu Club. However, if he answers incorrectly, she threatens to chop off his head. After successfully answering all the questions, they head to Blackrock Peak to fulfill Lin's quest and enhance his cultivation level. Upon arriving, Lin begins cultivating the martial skill called Earth Lotus Divine Art by harnessing the Earth's energy. The system also informs him that he will be able to defeat a spirit-nurturing cultivator after mastering this skill. During their time at Black Rock Peak, Lin unexpectedly encounters a man named Chen Qin, who claims to have been waiting for him. However, Chen Qin disappears shortly after their meeting. Lin and Qianthuan end up spending the entire night playing mobile games together. As the sun rises, Qianthuan questions whether they are friends. Lin affirms their friendship, but Qianthuan accuses him of deceiving her all along. She questions why he has been concealing his true power. Lin tries to explain that he has been diligently cultivating since their arrival at Black Rock Peak, but she remains skeptical and gathers energy to attack him. In a surprising turn of events, the system compels Lin to use his new skill on Qianthuan. As she summons her sword and strikes Lin, she notices that his cultivation has significantly improved overnight. Intrigued, she inquires about his secret to rapid learning. Lin, feeling defeated, decides to disclose the truth about the system, but Qianthuan remains skeptical. To demonstrate the truth, Lin shows her the essence of a mountain pill, warning her that it causes diarrhea when consumed. Curiosity gets the better of Qianthuan, and she eats the pill to test Lin's claims. As her body begins to react, absorbing the pill, Lin uses his new martial arts skill to alleviate her symptoms. Before parting ways, Qianthuan gives Lin her headband, which can serve as protection against spirit-nurturing level cultivators. Ignoring Chen Qin, Lin seeks out Zion and interrupts her fight with Ijai and his group. Lin reveals that Ijai is the person who attempted to ambush him, disguised as Dabao. Ijai is also responsible for putting a bounty on Lin's head. Utilizing his new skill, Lin effortlessly defeats each member of Ijai's group with a single punch, consequently advancing his cultivation to the 9th stage. Meanwhile, his friend Chang engages in a battle against Wang Shuenjin, the winner of the previous year's competition and a threat to kill all disciples if Chen Chen refuses to fight him. Chang implores Lin and all the students to unite and help him deploy a spiritual formation to defeat Wang Shuenjin. However, both Lin and Chang are defeated as Wang begins to unleash lightning skills. A lightning strike heads toward Lin, but Chen Chen intervenes, halting the attack with a single finger before disappearing. Chen Chen asks Lin if he has already mastered that particular skill. The system notifies Lin that he must defeat Wang's Shuenjin to secure a spot in the top 50. Determined, Lin quickly eliminates Zion and Dabian from the competition to protect them from harm. He challenges Wang to a fight, during which Wang employs his Golden Dragon Spear and lightning attacks. Lin initially employs his Mountain Quacking Fist technique, but it proves ineffective. However, he then emulates Chen Chen's Heavenly Splitting Finger move, swiftly defeating Wang. Lin loses consciousness and wakes up 10 days later. He soon realizes that everyone's perception of him has changed significantly. They now admire and consider him the strongest individual, no longer seeing him as an easy target. This brings an end to our episode. If you enjoyed it, then don't forget to subscribe our channel, Any Explainer.